The CNC3018 Pro 3-axis mini milling machine kit. I needed a small CNC milling machine for a project, and after a short research I decided to buy the kit of a CNC3018. Everything arrived well packaged, and except for one single sliding block, the delivery was also complete. Now it goes to the assembly of the machine. The instructions are short but sufficient. As described in step 1 and step 2, assemble the frame and the guides. Screw on the sliding blocks, but only 2 to 3 threads are needed. Then it is easier to get them into the T-slot blade later. Insert the first stepper motor and assemble the coupling. Pay attention to the flattened edge on the motor axis. The grab screws of the coupling should grip there. Now slide the T-slot blade sideways onto the plain bearings. You can fix the middle bearing by turning the threaded rod. And now you can see why the T-slot nuts should not be turned up too far. Well, now center the T-slot blade and fix the bearing blocks with the sliding blocks to the T-slot blade. Step 3 continues with the bridge. 46.5 mm should be the distance between the bridge and the rear edge of the frame. Attach the first backlight piece to the frame with 6 sliding blocks. And continue with step 4. The x-axis of the spindle carrier is mounted. In the driver, push all the way down when screwing in the threaded rod. Now the cross profiles are screwed on. As well as sliding rods. Next, mount the stepper motor for the x-axis. Again, pay attention to the position of grab screws for the coupling. Flattened side of the motor axis. Now, place the spindle carrier with threaded rod on the sliding rods. Like this. It's almost something of a milling machine. Let's continue with step 5. Mount the second backlight part on the other side with the same distance of 46.5 mm. Make sure the threaded rod slides neatly into the bearing and reattach it to the frame with 6 slot nuts. Make sure nothing is braced or wedged. Don't force anything. Everything must mesh cleanly. It's best to loosely tighten all the bolts first, then hand tighten, then tighten. But after tight comes off. Continue with step 6 of instructions. Insert the spindle motor and flange the electronics. The gap on the bracket can be bent open a bit with a small Allen wrench. Attach screws and sliding blocks to the electronics and to the back of 2 cross sections. Even though the instructions end here, we still have to connect the components to the controller and make the cables a little pretty to protect them from mechanical impact. I had a few micro switches left, which I already positioned as limit switches for the X and Y axis. They are not included with the CNC, but the controller supports the limit switches. So, and the whole thing works. A 12.5 mm hole with 1 mm depth. I measured with calipers, fits perfectly. For wood and plastic, cutters definitely to use. I can recommend the CNC. In the description you will find a few links. And now, have fun building your own.